welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you my first ever tutorial, and it is going to be on this. This is a 1950s peg apron. So I am starting to get rid of a lot of the plastics around my home and replace them with a couple more sustainable items. And one of the things that really narks me are plastic pegs. I find that over time they snap, they get disgusting, they break, they end up in the garden, and it is just horrible and not very nice to look at when I'm trying to get the laundry done. So of course I looked to the 50s and they had the answer, and it was this. It was this lovely little apron right here. So basically inside this pouch, if you can't hear it already, are pegs. I have now switched to wooden pegs again, although sometimes they're not as strong. I just find that even if they end up in the garden, it is a natural product, and that is sort of where we're going with these. Now for those that follow me on my Instagram, you may recognize this fabric. This is the fabric that you voted for. It was either these hot air balloons or my chickens, and nobody liked my chickens. Oh my gosh. So the results were overwhelming, and I am so excited to do something like that with you, and I really hope you like what I turned it into. I will be using the chickens one day though, so don't worry, the chickens will happen. Now, first of all, I'd also like to say I'm sorry about some of the filming angles. I also lost a little bit of footage. I don't know how or why that happened, but please be kind, and I really hope you enjoy this tutorial. Hi everyone, it's voiceover MonMon here. For this apron you will need two types of complementary fabric, bias tape and general sewing supplies. Start by cutting out two rectangles at 10 inches by 12 inches on some tracing toil to create padding pieces. On one of the rectangles, cut a curved piece out of the top corner to serve as a pocket opening. Don't make it too big as your apron will gape. Mine was around 4 inches in and 5 inches deep. This piece will be your front apron portion, whilst the other piece will be your back apron portion. Curve the inner corner and leave one side flat to be your folded inner side. Now it's completely up to you what kind of fabric you choose. I like to pair a printed fabric with a plain one, and chose to make the print the main feature on the apron. I folded my printed fabric in half and made sure to lay my pattern piece on the fold. Remember that the front piece is the one with the curve cut out for the pocket. The same way as you did the front apron piece, fold your back apron fabric in half, place the pattern piece on the fold, pin and cut. You can get an idea of what your apron will start to look like by placing the two pieces on top of each other. The next thing you need to cut out is your back tie straps. My straps were about 5 inches thick, but you can make them as long as you want. From memory, mine are around 59 inches long, as that's all the fabric I had left, but I recommend making them a little bit longer, as I like to have a nice decent bow on the back. You're now ready to start sewing it all together. The first thing you do is sew a stay stitch around the inner section of the pockets. Then measure out some bias tape to fit the inner curve of your pocket, and then sew that in. Cut off and trim any bias tape or loose threads. Place the apron front piece on top of the apron back piece. Pin them down and then sew all along the edges, including the top. Once they're sewn together, trim off any excess. You want the seam to be quite even, so when you sew the bias tape attaches itself really firmly. After trimming, sew on the bias tape all around the edges, except the top. Unfortunately, this is the footage that I lost, so just trust me when I say sew along the edges everywhere but the top. I also lost footage of me ironing my strap, but as you can see, it is ironed once folded in half, and then the top and back sides folded in about 1/4 inch and then ironed flat again. Start by folding in the ends with a rolling hem and then stitch those down. Then find where the middle of the apron is and the middle of the waistband. Tuck the apron inside, pin, and then sew all the way from top to end. And with those steps, do final trims and you are completely finished. But wait, how does it test out in the real world? Let's find out. Oh wait, that means I actually have to do some laundry. Bugger. Ironically enough, the next load of laundry I had were some of my house cleaning aprons. I found it really easy, the fact that the pegs were right there, in front of me. I didn't have to go looking for them, I didn't have to fight the spider webs for them, which I actually have cleaned off by now because that's kind of gross. But the apron itself was really easy to use, super functional, and I know that it means there's not going to be any more plastic floating around in my garden or in the world. Of course, you don't have to keep this as a peg apron. You can turn this into whatever apron you wish, whether it be for cleaning, cooking, gardening, you name it. Even if you're just going up on stage, this is a really fun and easy way to just add a little bit of vintage home glamour. And that is everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. If you'd like to subscribe or follow me on any of my social media, all the links are down below, including a link to my blog, which also has this apron featured. I hope you are all happy, healthy, and safe, and I wish you all the best for the week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!